Hey folks, Country Prepper here. Well, today I am going to show what I think would make for a good minimalist bug out bag. I've seen this discussion on a few prepper groups on Facebook. I've been asked that question: if you were going to carry a minimalist bug out bag, what all would you put in it? Several reasons that a person would want to carry a minimalist bug out bag. The discussion comes up, and I see it all the time. The more you know, the less you have to carry. And that does hold true to a certain extent. But there are a few things that if you are going out into the wilderness, if it's an emergency situation, you're probably not going to want to stop and make, say, cordage out of natural materials. So it's just something to keep in mind, something that you probably do want to carry. There's all kinds of stuff floating around in the air, seeds and whatnot, so sorry about that, but hey, it's that time of year. So what I'm going to do, first I want to give a really quick shout out to one of my favorite prepper groups, and that's where I got some of these ideas from. So that is Preppers Survive SHTF, and or shit hits the fan if you don't know what that acronym means. The administrator of that group is a great guy. He lets me post my videos there, and he just asks for the same in return, and I think that's a good way to do things. So Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Keep it up, man. If any of you guys are interested in getting into a Facebook group, I highly recommend it, and I will leave a link to that group down in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull everything out of this pack and lay it all out on the table, and we'll get started. Okay, so I've got everything out here. I'm going to start with the pack. The pack isn't really that important, but just in case you like this idea, it's a very lightweight, they call it a Go Pack. The name of it is the Stash Pack by Blackhawk. Like I said, very lightweight, ripstop material, has a couple of pouches on the outside, and the best thing about this is if you unzip the top here, you can roll this pack up inside of itself. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, if you are already wearing or carrying everything on your body, except for the food, of course, but you could get most of this stuff just on you. This pack, if I can, I'm not doing it right. Anyhow, you could stuff this into a cargo pocket if you really wanted to. So that was the point of this pack, and if I get it all, well, I'll quit worrying about it. Anyhow, it rolls up inside of itself. So that's what I wanted to start off with. Next, I'm going to talk about my EDC, because some people, a lot of bug out bag videos, people forget to mention what they're carrying every day. So my everyday carry is my Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 40 caliber. I carry a torch lighter because it works a lot better than a Bic, and I mean, it works in wind, and it doesn't work the greatest when it's cold, neither does a Bic, but you always have to have I like to have an ignition source on me every day just in case. I also carry a flashlight. This is a TrueNight Archer 1A V2, just because I have used it quite often, so I started carrying a flashlight just in case, and it doesn't really doesn't take up much room in your pocket. You hardly notice it's there. Next, I've been carrying the Kershaw Cryo, and as you can see, I use it quite a bit. The blade's dirty, I need to clean that up. I got my smartphone and a bandana. And that's all I carry with me EDC here lately. Of course, I have my sunglasses, my survival bracelet, paracord bracelet, and I have this wrist compression wrap on my wrist. So anyhow, that's my EDC, and the reason that I count this is because there are a lot of things you can do with a smartphone. There are a lot of apps out there, and I might do a video on that one of these days about all the different survival apps. The SAS book is on there on Amazon Kindle, and I mean, there are a ton of apps that would be very useful in a bug out situation. There's navigation, compass, GPS, just a ton of stuff. So that is a good thing to keep with you. Now, if you are in an emergency situation, you're going to want to be able to recharge your phone, and that's why I added this. They're not expensive. I think I paid like 15 bucks for this one. But this will charge my phone. If it has a full charge, it will charge my phone twice. It has 2 ports, and it also has a backup light LED on it. So, and you can see, I don't know if you can see the green light, it's sitting here charging, and it's cloudy today. So, next thing, backup navigation. If your phone goes dead, something happens to your charger, or maybe you didn't carry a charger, some people would, some people wouldn't. I would always suggest having a means of navigation. For my pistol, I have 2 backup magazines. I will leave a link down below for this pouch. I can't remember the number of it, but it's made by Condor. I have 2 extended magazines with an extra 14 rounds. And then in my pistol I have the short magazine that holds 6. So I have 20 extra rounds. Depending on the situation, you might want to carry a little extra ammo, or if you can afford the extra magazines, then you could carry 4 of them on you if you really wanted to, or as many as you want to. But make sure your magazines are loaded and ready to go, because when shit hits the fan, you're probably not going to have time to load them. So somebody else made that point on my last bug out bag video. Food. You're probably not going to want to stop and cook anything. So, like some extra protein, the emergency food rations. This is not going to get you very far. They suggest 3 bars a day per person. It's 2,400 calories total in here. Really, if you're on the move and you're carrying a little extra weight, and that 2,400 calories is what you ought to be consuming in a day. So just keep that in mind. It all depends on the situation. Not every bug out scenario is the same, and it's going to be different for everybody's area and fitness level as well. So let's move on. Water procurement. Stainless steel bottle. I always recommend that. I recommend a 32 ounce. The reason for that is most water purification tablets are for 32 ounces or 1 liter. So this is the Backpackers model, Nalgene 32 ounce stainless. These are kind of pricey. They're like 30 bucks. So if you're on a budget, if you find a water bottle, just plan accordingly with your water purification tablets. And I do recommend keeping those, taking those with, putting them in your bug out bag, because you don't always have the option of boiling water. So with that said, if you don't have the option of boiling water, if you're on the move, you have to keep moving, you don't have time to stop and treat any water, get a good water filter straw. This is the Renovo Trio. I have not done a review of this yet, but I will. This has a carbon filtration element to it, unlike many of the other ones on the market, the most popular being the Sawyer Mini. That does not filter out chemicals, so I recommend this one over the Sawyer Mini. It's only another $10, so that just, to me, for where I live in Iowa, so we have lots of fields full of crops around here that are getting sprayed with nasty chemicals that you definitely don't want to put in your body. So a good carbon filter is definitely high on the list for my bug out bag. Next, we'll talk about cutting tools. Well, you're going to want a primary survival knife. Now, I've done a video on this and the kit, but for those who aren't subscribed to my channel, didn't see that, the knife is not really that important. However, I would say you definitely want something that is nice and thick, somewhere between 3/16 and 1/4 inch thick steel, full tang. preferably an exposed pommel. This one does not have that, but this is just a good example. This is what I consider a good survival knife, with the exception of the exposed pommel. I wish it had that. But for those who haven't seen the video on this, in here I have my fire kit, the ferro rod, and 7 pieces of tinder. I'm not going to pull everything out of here. If you want to go and see everything that's in here and with in-depth, I will leave a annotation up here and a link in the description box. I also have 1-inch wide Gorilla Tape, and I have some cordage in here. I have 100 feet of number 18 bank line and 25 feet of jute twine. Stick those back in there. And we'll move on to the bigger pouch. In there I have a first aid kit, which I'll go through in a minute, and an emergency blanket. Get the bigger ones. Don't buy the ultra cheapos that are like $1 a piece on Amazon. Get something a little bigger. Trust me on that one. Well, it all depends on how big you are too. You know, for a child, the smaller ones are fine. For maybe a small, you know, slender, petite woman, the smaller ones would probably be fine. But for a guy, you're going to want something bigger. You know, just, yeah, do your research on those. Make sure it's big enough to fit you is what I'm trying to get at. In this first aid kit, a couple of Ranger bands on the outside, which could be used for fire as well. Knocking stuff over all over here. In this, I have my water purification tablets. I have some tape. I have some butterfly closures. I have a C-locks, needle, and some little bitty spool of monofilament thread. I have a tourniquet, tweezers, a scalpel, very small scalpel, some knuckle and fingertip band-aids, and I think that's about and an eye patch. So I didn't want to pull everything out. It's kind of a pain to get back in there, but that's everything that's in there. Hope I didn't miss anything, but I'll throw this back on real quick. Try to keep this video as quick as I can. Well, I'll set that aside. I would recommend having a backup cutting tool. Something nice and light like a Mora. These are, you know, they're great knives. They're inexpensive. Everybody knows about Mora, or almost everybody, I would say. Like I said, great knife for the money, and they are pretty durable. I wouldn't go busting it through, you know, the biggest log you can because they're not full tang, but it does make a good backup knife. You actually, this is the 511. I would actually personally go with a stainless steel model in case you were out in the, you know, out for a long time and had to hunt for your food or go fishing, something like that. Then you know, you're going to have to clean that animal, and it's preferable that you do that with a stainless steel knife. Next, I did a video on this. This is my Baco Laplander with a Condor sheath. I'll leave a link and an annotation for that. But if you, like I said before, with that, if you're out for a long time, you may need something like this. And it's very lightweight, doesn't take up much room, so I think it's valuable to have. There's only so much you can chop with a knife, and an axe or hatchet is a lot bigger, adds a lot more weight. So, to move on next, even though I carry a bandana EDC, I still prefer to carry a shemagh, or shemagh, however you pronounce that. So many uses for one of these. I mean, you can tie it around your arm if you have an injury, or your leg, whatever. It could be used for, I mean, you can wrap it around your head, keep yourself from, you know, keep the bugs off you, or keep the sun off of you, or you could even tie it up, use it as a shelter really quick if you needed to, just get out of the sun, provide a little shade. Tons of uses for a shemagh, so I definitely recommend one of those. Last but not least, shelter. I do carry 4 tent stakes. That's another one of those things. You can carve stakes out of sticks, but if you're in an emergency situation, you need to get your shelter up fast, you're probably not going to want to stop and make stakes out of sticks. So they don't weigh much, they don't take up any more room. It's just a good idea to have them. This is a military poncho. See if I can get this all in frame. I'll try to anyway. It has a hood on it with a drawstring. It has snaps down the sides so that it can be used as a poncho. And it also has grommets in the corners, and I believe one along the side here, so that you can use it as a shelter. Multi-purpose item. So it's not a really big shelter, but it would definitely get you out of the rain, out of the wind, and help you keep you dry and warm. So that is everything that is in this minimalist bug out bag. I do want to make the point that this is not my actual bug out bag. This is just an idea and a concept that I came up with to answer a lot of people's questions and gives people some ideas if they wanted to go with a minimalist approach. I will say I weighed this before I left the house. It weighed 9.2 ounces without water in the stainless steel bottle. So it would probably, it's under 10 pounds with water. So those are just some things to keep in mind. Some additions that you might think about is, you know, maybe you want to carry a couple extra batteries for your flashlight. The reason that I EDC this flashlight is for that reason right there. Multiple purpose. I don't have to carry a headlamp. I thought I'd better throw that in real quick. So like I said, you might want to carry a couple extra batteries. You might want a little more food. But like somebody in my last bug out bag video suggested, you don't really want anything that you have to cook, so that you can eat and keep on the move. So keep that in mind. Can't really think of anything else that I need to say. You know, give me your comments, suggestions. Please give this video a thumbs up. I know I'll get a few thumbs down, but that's okay. It still helps the channel. And interacting with the channel one way or the other still helps the channel. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. What would you take out or add? And keep it to a minimum. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.